We've reached the end of October, and in Colorado, that means it's 50 degrees in the morning and 70 to even 80 in the afternoon. So good enough weather to continue to commute to work every morning. But as we get to the end of October, traditionally in Colorado, we get our first snow on Halloween. And this year was no exception. So usually at this point, I stop commuting to work. And I switched to just riding in the afternoons on the weekends when we hit the 50-degree mark. I really have a cutoff of 50 degrees. Anything below 50, I don't ride anymore. I just gotten too old and I don't enjoy it anymore, so I don't do it. But these new bikes come with heated gear connectors underneath the seat. Now I know you can add them to any bike. It's a simple connection to the battery, but I've never had them before. I've never even had heated grips before until I got this bike. So I started wondering, could I extend my riding season a little longer if I invested in a heated gear option? What I'm really thinking about is adding a heated vest, something that I could wear underneath my jacket that would just be easy to slip on over whatever shirt I'm wearing and then put my jacket over that and go for the ride. As we know, it's most important to heat your core. If you heat your heart and your heart's pumping blood all through your body and you warm that heart, you're warming the rest of your body, at least in theory. So I really want something thin, lightweight that I could put underneath my jacket. Maybe even something that would work with a battery so I could use it when I'm shoveling snow. That way I get more than one use out of it. So I took a look at Harley-Davidson's website, and under heated gear, they don't have a heated vest at all. So they offer the jacket, which is really, to me, a really puffer jacket. And with the puffer jacket, you would need a lot of room underneath your motorcycle jacket to fit that in. And I don't know about you, but every year my jacket gets a little tighter. I'm not sure I could fit this in there. They do have the pants and the glove liners that you wear underneath your gloves, and then even socks. And all of these are 12 volt. So they connect to that DC connector that's underneath the bike. So they'll plug right in, and then you get to use the full 12 volts of the battery to get the most heat. So I took a look around, and Gerbing's another option. So Gerbing is noted for having the 12 volt gear, and they indeed have a vest. And this vest is $200, so it's certainly not cheap. It does heat your neck, which is kind of nice, and the front and the back, and it's 12 volts, so it plugs right in underneath your seat. I think the challenge of it, besides the price, is there's no heat adjustment. The Harley-Davidson jacket does allow you to adjust 3 different levels, but the Gerbing doesn't allow you to adjust the heat at all. So you're just going to, it claims 135 degrees the entire time. It's a very thin vest, so I think it would fit nicely underneath your motorcycle jacket, but I don't know if I want it full blast all the time. That might be okay, but maybe not. So they offer an accessory option, and you connect this in line with the garment you're wearing to the bike, and then you can adjust it with these 2 knobs. So you got two zones there that you can control. But it's $70 that you'll add to the $200 of the vest. So my other favorite brand out there is Kemimoto, and they've been noted for heated gear for many years. Looking at their options, they have several different vests. And if you look at them, they have the classic heated vest and then a winter warming heated vest, battery not included. So some include batteries, some don't. So these are really intended to be battery powered and not connected to the bike. And I searched through here and I could not find a Kemimoto option that plugs directly into the bike. I don't see any that have that DC connector. They're all USB at this point. So with the battery, it's $99, and without the battery, it's $60. So next I searched Amazon, and I started with heated vest, and you get hundreds of them. They are very popular, apparently, to make. So we have all kinds of options with different number of heating zones. Some heat the neck, some don't. Some heat the shoulders, some don't. But they are all really battery powered. And I noticed there's a big price difference. You're around $60 or less, or $100 or more. And you'll have, in the $100 or more, you'll have a 12 volt, but most are a 7.4 volt, which is an odd voltage. So if you were to connect a 7.4 volt heated garment directly to your bike and feed it 12 volts, I imagine it would get really hot and probably wear out fairly quickly, or I guess it could melt or catch on fire while you're riding. But the majority of these are 5 volt 2 amps, so standard USB connection to a 5 volt 2 amp battery. And so if you think about that, 5 volts at 2 amps is what you charge your phone with. And though your phone gets kind of warm while you charge it, it doesn't get that warm. So how much heat would you really get out of 5 volts and 2 amps? But the 7.4 volt option, I think, will not work with the bike system. Neither would a 5 volt system work with your bike either. But if you followed my videos, you know I have a USB power option that will take that 12 volt heated gear connector and drop it down to 5 volts and give us a USB-A connection. So with that knowledge, I started looking at this Kemimoto heated vest. It's the warming vest that doesn't come with a battery. It is indeed a USB-A connection at 5 volts at 2 amps. And it's $47, and then you get a 12% coupon off of it. So it's fairly affordable. The beauty of this thing is it's very lightweight. It's very thin, and it's clearly meant to be worn under a jacket. So you put this on over your shirt and then put your jacket over that. And you have buttons so you can heat the front or the back. So I thought, well, that's kind of appealing. It's only 5 volts. So will it get warm enough? Well, it claims that it'll get to 140 degrees on high. And in theory, when you're using it with the bike, you have unlimited length of time because you're not using a battery. So I could run around at 140 degrees for a long ride and stay comfy, in theory. And here it is, the Kemimoto warming vest, 5 volts, 2 amps. So if we take a look, they give you some instructions, and then here's the vest. So the vest is really thin. It does have a plush interior, almost like a fleece, and then the exterior has kind of a wax coating. So I assume this would be a little bit water resistant. And then here are the 2 buttons. They do have pockets on either side, so you could put some items in here. And on the left pocket is where you're going to find your connection. So this is a USB-A connection. So we would plug this into the battery tender adapter underneath the seat. So my plan to get this USB-A connector to the bike is to use the Gerbing SAE to DC adapter. So this will connect to the heated gear underneath the seat. This gives us an SAE adapter, and then we'll use a battery tender SAE to USB-A. So you'll plug that in here, and away you'll go. And we'll have the polarity correct with the Gerbing adapter. Some of the adapters that are in the Amazon world are not the correct polarity. So check out my video on getting more USB power from the bike, and you'll learn all about it. But this Gerbing adapter, I'll have a link for it in the description of this video, my affiliate link. With the seat removed, we'll locate one of the heated gear connectors. It does not matter which one you use, they're both powered. So we'll grab this one. We'll remove the protective plug, and then we'll take our Gerbing adapter and plug that in. And it does fit because the Gerbing is the correct 2.1 millimeter size. And then we have our battery tender connected with its USB-A. So my plan is, we have a fair amount of length here. My plan is to run it down along the side here. So we'll run it around here and then just have it come out. So there it will come out underneath here. And then in theory, I can plug the vest right into it while I'm sitting on the bike. Now that we're on the bike, we just need to take this USB-A and plug it into our adapter that we fed underneath the seat. So it looks like we have enough length here to do that. So I have power. But this is not a lot of extra room. And if you ever lift up to get over a bump, this will probably pull loose. So you may want to add an extension cable, maybe a shorter one than this. I'll put links in the description of what I find to give yourself a little more room. So you would plug that into the vest and then the other end of the Gerbing adapter, and now you've got really too much room. But I could fully stand up without pulling it loose. So you'll take the extra and jam it in the pocket. And now you have unlimited power to heat this vest as you ride. But does it work? Not too bad. So I would say it definitely made a difference. I'm actually a little sweaty at this point. But then again, we really didn't get into the 40s, or 49, but it did make a difference. So I do think it'll extend my riding season, at least riding to work, and then later in the winter, maybe I'll be willing to go out when it's in the 40s, but yet sunny. So I think it works. Is it perfect? No. Don't overset your expectations. It may not get as hot as you think it will, but it certainly does keep that core a bit warmer than without. One thing I was thinking of is when you're not using it, it's just kind of dangling here. So I took one of these weatherproof plugs off of one of my old battery tenders. They just stretch over this SAE connector. You can actually buy these on Amazon. And so you'll plug that in to kind of weatherproof it. And then I took a 3M hook and just stuck it underneath here, which gives you a place to secure the plug. Just jam it into that clip, and now it's secure and won't move around and damage the paint. The Kemimoto heated warming vest. Does it extend your riding season? Well, it does heat your core, which is key to riding in cooler temperatures. I will put a link in the description of all the products I featured in this video. Again, these are Amazon links that don't cost you anything for using, but I get a little referral fee for pointing you to the products. So please use them. It really helps my channel out. Remember, you can use this heated vest with a USB battery pack. Just make sure it supports 2 amps. Many of them are less than that, and anything less than 2 amps will not power this vest. But then you have an option for when you're walking the dog or shoveling snow. So I really hope you found this information useful, and if you did, you'll go share it with someone else. But until next time, in the friction zone.